Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tell Me Everything. I am your host, Danielle Spinelli. I got the Transport Queens on. I love their name. I just think that's awesome that there's the two gals and they're freaking rocking it. They're with Rite Way, and also they have the low Genie platform as well, which what I love about what they're doing is the way that they're actually vetting all the carriers that are entered. I think it's crucial if you are providing a capacity tool or providing anything that is like a load board type feel is having that top level tier vetting. And I think they do a really great job on it. They don't share all the pieces to their pie and all the secret sauce, but I think it's important to know that there are platforms like that out there and you're not just having to get stuck with, this one that kind of has been having issues in the past or whatever. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump in it and watch these transport queens. Well, thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I'm so happy you're here. I love how you guys are the transport queens, and it's going to be so fun. How are you guys?
Good.
Excited to be on.
Thank
Love
you for
it.
having us.
Of course. Real quick, if you guys don't mind, just do a little intro on yourselves and kind of a little bit about your company before we kind of jump in all the fraud, cargo, thefts talk.
So my name is Amber Gosney, and actually I am pretty new into the whole space. I joined with Staci, and we opened up our subdivision of our company just back in November. So she is the brains and has all the knowledge in the company.
Both you guys, the brains and the beauty. I love it.
Right.
Perfect.
Yes, I have been doing transport since 2012. But I was in a different sector. I was in the household goods part of it. And I mean, that is the wild, wild west out there.
Yeah, I'm
household
sure.
goods, for sure. So when I was introduced to Rite Way, I really liked their onboarding system and their compliance and how they vet their carriers. And I was like, well, this is something that I can put my name on and be a part of. And then I did it for about a year and I was like, you know what, let's join forces.
Love it. So right now, what is it called now? And then what exactly does it do?
It's Rite Way Transport Group, and we have our own proprietary software, Load
Load
Genie.
Genie.
Yes, and it has load matching technology that just gives us fast turnaround time. And we have a very, very strict onboarding team when it comes to our carriers. We vet them and from A to Z.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's crucial, especially when you are working on finding capacity and having a net. If you're going to provide a platform, I think that's part of like your due diligence as a platform to be like, if you're going to show me all these carriers, they need to be good guys. But sometimes they don't get the whole how to actually vet a carrier. And whenever we were talking, I was like, all right, these guys get it because it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like we won't get into all the secret sauce that you guys do, but I think just kind of a little bit of knowing, this is how strict we are or whatever, if you want to share anything like that.
Yeah, well, the software itself it gives access to the dealerships. So you have your dealer portal that's like a centralized hub for all of your transport needs. It gives you everything from your KPIs to your live tracking, organized accounting in one place. So if you ever want to update your client, you can just click on the order number, get your live tracking. But yeah, it's pretty much seamless from A to
Love
Z.
it.
And it's keeping everybody in contact. Obviously, we do one part, but we have dispatch. We have so many different sectors that are working together. So using this platform, it just keeps everybody in constant communication, especially dealing with carriers. So if something does arise and does pop up, we know instantly as well as this person and this person. So,
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
It notifies everyone.
Okay. Very cool. And it's strictly for auto hauling type of people, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, we do heavy machinery as well.
Okay.
I mean, we do everything from buses, box trucks, motorcycles, everything. We have
Gotcha.
RGNs, we have flatbeds, we have lowboys, whatever you need.
Okay. Very cool. I love it. I love whenever, get to learn about different things. And that's part of the reason why I wanted you guys on here too. Cause I think the auto hauling section of it, I know that's kind of a little bit of your guys' niche. You guys obviously do a lot more than that, but I think it's an interesting area of because for a while there wasn't a lot of cargo. I mean, there's always cargo theft when it comes to cars. There's like, grand theft auto type thing. But because there's such a strict, actual like laws behind that. And so if they do get caught with it, it's actual real jail time where like anything else
Mhm.
that they steal, like the household goods, like slap on the wrist, keep going, you guys.
Mhm.
And so I think for a while they were a little safer than the rest of us out here. And then now it seems like they're just bombarding the auto industry. What are you guys seeing, I guess, on that front?
I feel like they've just become a little bit more sophisticated in kind of hijacking load boards
Okay.
and getting in and seeing where shipments are being picked up. And that's why we stay away from the load boards and we have our own. And again, it's the load matching algorithm that kind of pings the drivers that are on that route, on that lane. So that's what gives us the fast turnaround time. And then every single time we do dispatch a load to a carrier, they get vetted all over again.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's key too, because a lot of people you'll vet once and then one and done, and you're like, they
Mm-mm.
change so
No.
often, and right now they're selling MCs like crazy, and that's hard.
Yep.
That's really hard to detect. And so I
Hmm.
think especially if it's been a minute since you've worked with them, it's something that you should have as a process, regardless of what company you are and things like that. I think that's just crucial with today's world that we're in. Unfortunately, it takes longer, but it's needed.
For
Yeah.
sure, it's needed. And they're always getting new things. They're figuring out new ways. So it's like you have to keep vetting them because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. And knowing who you're working with, I think is big. Of course, like the auto part of it would be like how Shaq had his, big fancy car stolen and whatever.
Hmm.
And so with your guys' platform, I'm sure you guys have had to adapt to new ways that there's been, how to vet a carrier or stuff like that. That's constantly changing. How are you guys kind of staying?
Always.
Yeah. How are you guys kind of staying in the know of things? Because I know you guys really have like a very low percentage of this even affecting you guys, really, but
Hmm.
because you keep adding on things. But how are you staying in the know and how are you updating and how fast?
Honestly, our software is updating, I would say, every week or two with different features when it comes to safety, compliance, making it easier when it comes to the dealer portal.
Okay.
We're just listening to all of the pain points when it comes to the dealerships and implementing it.
Yeah. I'm sure at the dealership level, they're seeing some wild stuff of people like picking. Like I heard one of the dealerships I was talking to was saying that somebody pulled up and had like the whole rig and had all the stuff, like the equipment to pick up cars, but like
Mhm.
they didn't know what they were doing. And as they were leaving, they're like scraping other cars as they're leaving. They're like, what the? And so they called the police
Yeah.
on them. And then they found out it was actually a bad actor. And I mean, didn't know, but obviously this guy didn't even know how to do what they're supposed to do. So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, we've been in business for about over 16 years now. So, with a lot of our carriers, we built relationships with them, which is really important. There's that level of trust, especially when it comes to certain lanes.
Right.
It's We have a really, really strong network of carriers.
That's awesome, and then kinda letting other people become a part of your network and then join that in and use those carriers, which a lot of people get to where they find good carriers and they hoard them and they don't let anybody use them.
Of
Oh,
course.
no.
Yeah, and it's
We're
definitely like
transparent about it.
yeah, I love that because there's great like, the carriers deserve to have a free market in that sense too and not just hoard them, and it, promotes the good guys, so that's awesome.
Once we assign a load, you'll get all the information the morning of. So that way you know who to release the vehicle to, which is another safety feature that our system has.
Cool. So essentially, you'll like have the load, you'll find the carrier, vetted carrier. All that information just keeps re-vetting kind of as the load's in there and gets updates and then sends everything through. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, through the whole process, the customer's getting updated. We're getting updated. We're all working as a team.
I love it.
And even if something gets undispatched for some reason, just because, the driver can't make it there, we're still notifying the dealership or whoever we're working with. Okay, well, this, do not release the vehicle or the unit to this person. We are reassigning it. So that way the level of communication through the software is seamless.
Yeah. How are you guys seeing, I guess, cars being stolen? Have you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard tons of stories from different people. What are things that you guys are seeing and hearing?
I think I hear a lot of the, hey, this guy was supposed to pick up my car and this guy didn't show up, but someone else from the company showed up. So I think there's all different kinds of stories out there. Like I said, they're getting very creative, but I
Uh-huh.
think that's like one of the main ones that I hear from the dealerships is, "Hey, I thought Bob was coming. It wasn't Bob, but it was his cousin John, and John picked up my car, but it wasn't,
It never
Yeah,
got delivered.
yeah."
Yeah. I mean,
which
it
is
happens
crazy.
all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
It
think what's
does, and
interesting.
it is scary, and it costs the dealerships a lot of money. I mean, again, that's why we always send the push notifications. A lot of dealerships do like using the portal for that feature. Again,
Okay.
you do get the email, but everything is in the load, and on top of that, I mean, you get the gate passes that are uploaded, the BOLs, everything from start to finish when it comes to the unit and the transport. It's in
Okay.
there.
So the gate passes are like in order for them to come pick it up, they have to actually be in that portal embedded and then being able to show that. So even like the driver level, I guess unless if they share it or something,
Hmm.
but yeah. Because I think we're
Yeah. So
definitely go ahead.
the dealership, whenever they're purchasing from an auction, we do need a gate pass for them to release the vehicle. So it's just a way for them to upload all of the documents so that way the driver can present it to the gate guard.
Gotcha. Make that
And they have
process
everything
faster.
centralized in there. Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, I definitely feel like we're getting at the point where carrier level vetting is huge, but we're really like driver level because kind of like you mentioned, like how they'll switch drivers last minute. And I know even
Hmm.
sometimes carriers get rerouted. Have you guys seen that where like carriers get some weird phone call and get rerouted, or is there anything on like a driver or carrier level that you're seeing that they're dealing with?
On our end, they have to stay on a specific schedule, and if anything does change, they have to communicate it with us, whether they're changing a driver, or changing their route. It all
Gotcha.
has to be ran through our team. If I can take this camera downstairs right now and show you the entire process, you would be mind blown.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
an entire team of just vetting and compliance and customer care, just everything.
Yeah, so if they
Gotcha.
ended up getting some like spoof number that called them and said, "Hey, take this load X, Y, and Z,"
Mm-mm.
they would have to go through us to confirm anyway, and then obviously it would get shut down anyway.
Gotcha. So the
We're the
algorithm.
roadblock.
Yeah, which is great. The algorithm with, like, matching it up to other drivers and carriers, how does that work?
So we have a network of carriers that are in our system. So if you build a habit of a certain lane and you're going up the East Coast, let's say, Florida to North Carolina, that's a consistent route for you. The system knows that. So if we have a load that was just posted for Florida to North Carolina, it's pinging all of the drivers that take that route.
Gotcha.
So that's what gives us the fast turnaround time.
Yeah, and then they're able to say, like, "Yes, I can pick this up at whatever time," and kind of auto assigned since they're vetted,
Yeah,
they can
then
do all that.
they have to accept the load, call in, vet, and do the whole process.
Gotcha. So, vetting each carrier, like, everybody talks about how long it takes, and that's why people make a lot of shortcuts. Do you guys just have, like, a large team, or how are you guys able to do that in a
Mhm.
speedy time?
I mean, we have probably 30 to 40 people downstairs that are just strictly for that department.
Gotcha. Yeah, then if you're moving that much freight, I mean, you have to have that,
Mhm.
especially if you're wanting all eyes in, because one bad actor can also like hurt your name, and it's
Of
Yeah.
course.
crazy how it's wild how I mean, really, they only have to be right 1% of the time. We got to be right, 100% of the time, which makes it a lot more difficult for us as providers too. I say us, but you guys as providers as well to like stay in the know and keep up to date. I'm sure you guys hear it all, see it all from bad actors and them trying to get in and they get escalated and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, we've stopped it. I've definitely heard some stories where it's comical sometimes, the things that they do.
Yeah. Because I know on my side, when a lot of times, whenever we start asking a lot of questions, that's when they start like getting real, like they'll start getting irate or try to push it or try to make you go faster. So you mess up and like like weird things don't add up. And so, even like as much as you can do, a lot of times that human interaction and
Yeah.
hearing them talk and hearing them trying to get out of whatever, that's like no tech, I don't think, feel like can replace that. So that's cool. You guys
Oh,
have that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have those red flags in that conversation. You're like, it just doesn't feel right. Something's off here. Like, hold on a second.
I mean, AI is great. Again, we use it for
Mhm.
certain elements, but when it comes to the vetting process, carrier relations, carrier onboarding, things like that, it has to be the human element of it.
Yeah.
the tonalities, you hear everything.
So if I'm like one of your customers, do I need my own vetting platform, or technically I'm like good to go with yours? I don't have to have something additional.
Yeah, no, it would be us.
That's cool.
You would literally either use the platform. There's, a quoting section in there. If you want to accept the quote, it builds it into a load for you, goes through our system. Or if you want to use us, a lot of our carriers or dealerships prefer that. Just ask us for the information, and we take care of everything.
Wow, that's
It's
crazy.
not just us. I mean, we have a team behind us working. That's just what makes us so confident in what we're doing. It's not just us, it's everyone behind us.
Yeah, and I don't know of anybody else doing anything like that. Like, a lot of times they depend on partners to do this and do that, and then they kind of stay in their own lane, but having that full solution in one spot is huge.
Yeah. I mean, look at us. We even have IT.
Right, I know. You guys have your own podcast studio over there. I love that.
Literally,
That's awesome.
on a Friday at 12:30, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, loads and everything is getting taken care
Everything
of.
is being worked on in the background. Literally, I submit a load, go to lunch, and
That's it.
it has a
That's
mind of its
crazy.
own.
They're doing it all
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, because
Mhm.
even as a rep, just I remember covering loads. I'm sure you guys, if you've ever done it before, you know how that is. Like, covering a load is stressful for me I was in carrier sales. So like for me, I knew I had to check all these boxes, and even with the vetting platform, like that helped a lot and sped things up. But like, I remember the middle of the night being like, oh my God, that guy kind of did something fishy. I'm like, oh my God, now he's not tracking or whatever. Like, there's
I
something.
hope it gets there.
Yeah, right, exactly. So kind of having someone else take the burden from you, that's huge.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're not the cheapest, and I'm not going to tell you that we're the cheapest provider,
Mhm.
but how much is your peace of mind worth at that time?
Right.
I mean, the extra $50, $100 a unit in the law. I'm looking at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Is it going to cost you a vehicle? Is it going to cost you a customer? It's
And the headache and
simple
stress,
math.
like you were saying, the stress that comes
Mhm.
along with it. Like, you get that cheaper quote, that
Yeah.
cheaper, delivery, but what goes along and what are they taking away? Like, if we're this price and you're getting it for $100 cheaper, well, where are they cutting those corners? I'm
Right.
like, it's not worth it.
Well, I think that's interesting for like the dealers or shippers whenever they're quoting, and the ones that are strictly off of rates, like they're grabbing the cheapest RFP whenever they run their RFPs, they get the cheapest one. Seem to be the ones that have the most theft within their,
Of course.
within their
Oh, yeah.
warehouse. Yeah. So it's
Oh, I
like,
can't tell you how many times that's happened where they'll be like, "Ugh, you're like $75 more expensive." And I'm like, "All right. I mean,
right.
that's on you at the end of the day." And then a couple weeks later or months down the line, "Hey, so remember that conversation we had?" I do. I
Yeah.
do remember that conversation. Remember it was price over value? I
Yeah.
remember that.
And also remember or like the difference between what you got stolen in between the time frame or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it blows my mind whenever there's solutions out there and truly vetted and like people have used it. Like, there's reviews, there's all that stuff where you can kind of lean in and trust on it. So very cool.
Yeah.
We love it. We're passionate about it.
Yeah, that's
Are
awesome.
you going to Vegas? The Con Expo?
No, I'm not. I didn't know that they were doing that. I was just in Vegas for Manifest, but when is that expo?
Next week. We're
Okay,
flying out on Tuesday, yeah. We'll
fine.
be there for our heavy machinery vertical.
Okay. So the heavy machinery, is it where it's overdimensional too, or is it just
Everything.
overweight? Okay. Are you guys handling the permits or like helping with permits and information for
Yeah.
that?
Everything.
Oh, wild. Okay. That's cool. Like I said, there's not a lot of platforms that do
Escorts,
all of it.
permits,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
We do
cool.
everything. Yeah, and it allows for when they're using the portal for you guys to put like freight guidelines in there, like whether it needs a tag or a permit, or they know all of that. We
Mhm.
have a heavy haul division.
Gotcha. So part of the show, sometimes we throw in like a tell me everything, like, because that's the show name, of course. So tell me everything about whatever. So let's talk about, because you guys are both women in logistics, what about your guys' perspective on, as a woman, how has that been within the industry? And then what are some things that, to me, being a woman in logistics is like, actually, I'm pretty awesome. And I feel like I'm more superior than the guys out there, but that's me.
Yeah.
So like, do you guys have that same take, or have you guys had to do any type of like adopting to like fit in more? Because it is a very heavily male industry. So it's for me it wasn't a challenge.
Male-dominated.
Yeah. For me, it wasn't really challenging because I've always been kind of one of the guys. But what about for you guys?
You go first.
So I feel like I've also been one of the guys for so long as well and been able to kind of talk the talk and be in the, the office and things like that and hold my own to a degree. But I
Yeah.
think, look, at times, I think it can get a little overwhelming. Maybe if, one of the guys said something, he raised his voice. I had to sit at my desk. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to get upset because I don't really think he means something. Maybe I'm just being emotional today, and
Yeah.
I don't think they think about it sometimes. They're like, oh, I'm just saying X, Y, and Z. This is how I would say it to, Kyle right here. But I forgot I'm
Right.
talking to Amber. So
Right.
I think sometimes in those aspects, I have to like remind myself, like, hey, I'm just a girl. Give
Right.
me a second. But honestly, I think we use it to our advantage,
I agree.
especially with dealerships and dealing with guys. I think women, we really hone in on specifics and
Tails and more
details
organized.
and being organized.
Yeah.
It's just something that most men are not great at.
Multitasking,
Yeah.
we're really good at that. So dealing with all the different crazy aspects, you're like, got it, got it, got it, got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're the multitaskers for sure. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna tell you that we don't have a a group of men behind us doing the job for us, but it's nice to have us, again, with our in our own subdivision, bringing a different perspective into some
Hmm.
of the things that other people may not think of.
Yeah.
It's evolving constantly,
Totally.
and, yeah, I think that being a woman in a male-dominated industry just it's empowering, but to me,
Hmm.
it's not intimidating.
Yeah.
I grew up with 3 brothers, and we're both from Jersey, so we have thick
Yeah.
skin. I mean, we can definitely talk the talk and walk the walk when we need to.
I definitely feel like the women that I've met in logistics have very similar stories. Like all of us are ones like one of the guys, or we had brothers, or this or that, whatever. Kind of, it
Yeah,
seems like we're like attracting those type of people, which is great because for me, those are my favorite kind of girls. So I'm like,
For
let's go
sure.
hang out because then I know I'm not dealing with like a bunch of drama. Not that
Yeah.
all women are like that, but unfortunately, there are the ones, and there's guys
Yeah.
that are like drama.
yeah, no, you definitely need a backbone in this industry.
For sure. Yeah, you need to be able to stick up for yourself. And something I guess I just learned because you were mentioning you're going to Vegas next week. I went recently for a manifest, and sometimes you get the guys that just drink too much and then they do whatever, try to come onto you or whatever. And you're like, but having that backbone where you kind of stick up for yourself, like it shuts down quickly. I mean, at the end of the day, we're at a
For
professional
sure.
place. Yeah.
I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
sometimes I get those text messages like, is my client drinking and texting me right
You
now?
can
I mean,
tell.
you have to have those boundaries, obviously, and you have to obviously like have the balls to have the boundaries. I'm like,
Right.
hey, Bob, think you should be texting me tomorrow. See you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but
let's table this discussion.
y-
Right, right. No, I think that as long as I feel like you're comfortable with yourself and saying that, I think some of that kind of, I guess, comes with age. Not that I'm like old or whatever, but
no, I
I think
agree.
it comes with age too, and like learning to stick up for yourself and whatever. But the logistics industry will kind of give you that tough skin too if you don't already have it.
It's happened to me before when I was at a convention, not going to name the convention, but
Yeah,
where he was texting me, after the convention ended, and I just left him on red. The next day we saw each other again, and he's like, I want to apologize about last night. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like,
yeah.
thank you so much. And I'm like, don't know what you're talking about.
A lot of times they're not. I mean, like not to give them a excuse or whatever, but a lot of times they just don't remember and they're messed up and what drank too much. Sometimes that happens at conferences. Not that it's okay, but
The
it
liquid
happens.
Agreed.
courage will get to you. I mean, listen, the karate chop to the neck works also.
Right,
It needs
exactly.
to get there, but I think saying nothing is saying something,
Yeah. No, I
just like
agree.
you say, right?
Yeah, and just holding your own. I mean, I believe highly in boundaries. If I allow you to go past that boundary, then you're going to always go past that boundary. If I
Right.
stay like really, this is where the boundary is, my friend, then
Hmm.
you know that
Mhm.
this is the boundary. And if that's the vibe that I always give off, then you know you can't go past that boundary.
Right. Yeah, I think sticking to your guns on it and not going backwards because that can get confusing for people too.
Of course, of
But I
course.
love that Low Genie is such like a women powered, having you guys out there for the face of it, and I just love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited. I think it's cool to be the only female owned subdivision in our company. I think that says a lot, and I think just moving forward in 2026, like women empowerment and just moving forward as
Yeah,
women in the industry.
I love it. What are you guys? What's like coming out new for you guys, or what's 2026 look like for you, roadmap wise?
I mean, we can't tell you the recipe.
Of course, of course.
Just a lot of new things coming, and stay tuned for sure because we're
Yeah,
here working.
I know, I love
Yeah, we
it.
have a lot of big partnerships that
Okay,
are coming up, obviously contracts that we can't discuss, but we did
right.
merge. We recently merged with two other companies,
Okay,
Sync and Mercury, and they all bring a different type of value to the company. So we are now the largest independently owned broker in the country.
that's awesome.
And we love it. We
Yeah.
love it. We just met with the owners of Sync the other day. And we couldn't have picked a better partnership, honestly. It's great.
That's cool. And so I guess that's more on like the brokerage side then of things, or are they part of the platform as well?
So again, everybody kind of brings their own thing.
Okay,
I believe Sync was more advanced in AI technology. We
gotcha.
have the platform and the dealership. So we kind of combined forces.
Yeah.
Everyone brings something to the table, and then we're
Yeah.
just all
You're not
meshing, which is
coming empty
nice.
handed.
Well, what's interesting with AI is it's almost like hard to initially get it in there. You're like, because you have to train it, you got to do all these, it's like its
Hmm.
own. You're like training in your own entity or whatever, and you don't want it to have like AI hallucinations. I can't even talk, but basically, like having AI in there, it's like a big thing to put into your system, and so having like that skill set of bringing them in, and then they add to your network is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
It
Yeah,
just makes us be able to handle more capacity faster, greater,
gotcha.
bigger. That's what we
Is it
want. We want bigger.
Yeah. Is the AI doing, like, part of the booking platform of it, or what exactly is your guys' AI doing?
Some of it, yeah. I mean, it works with different types of sectors. It works a little bit with the sales position, accounting, with carrier onboarding. I mean, we implement it where we can, but we do want to keep the human element.
Yeah. Which I think with you guys keeping the human element with the vetting part, obviously me being biased with the frog girl stuff
Uh-huh.
is big because I think that there's not enough people that do the human element of it, and that's why there's so much gets missed because some stuff is just like that, like I said earlier, like the little weird pause in this, or they
Uh-huh.
answer this a little bit too quickly, or what. Like there's things that you catch up
Yeah,
on, especially when you're doing it for a long time. That you're like, this doesn't add up.
for
Yeah.
sure. We don't
AI
want to
won't be
take
able to
away
catch
that.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to take away the human element. And we always tell our dealerships that as well. We're like, we have a great portal with Load Genie, but you can still call us. You can still text us. We don't want you to just like do away with us and you're never going to speak to us again.
Right. 'Cause you have that relationship too. That's also a big part that I think many are worried about with AI, like, are we gonna
Yeah,
lose relationship part of, the industry? Because that's always been such a big thing, but I feel like it's just gonna keep enhancing it. If it's used correctly with drivers, which that part I'm like, "Ugh, we'll see how we tease it in with drivers," but if it's used well with them, then I think they'll adapt more. They get faster information, which helps them move faster and stuff like that.
for
Yeah.
sure.
It just provides visibility, and again,
Mhm.
if you don't want to use the platform, you don't have to. But if at 10 o'clock at night you want to know when your Jeep Grand Cherokee is being delivered, you can go in from your cell phone. It's web based,
Yeah.
and just check it out. You don't have to contact us at midnight.
'Cause that's our boundary.
Yeah,
Midnight,
yeah.
no.
Again,
Right.
bank hours. I'm kidding.
That's funny.
No, we do work. We work a lot. I mean, we'll be at 10 o'clock at night just texting each other like, "Hey, this customer texts me." That's what I
Yeah.
like having a partner.
Mhm.
It's just if I'm not available, if I'm giving 20% that day, she's giving 80 and vice
Yeah.
versa.
No,
We
that's
always
huge.
have 2 points of contact.
I think in the logistics industry, they're like taking a vacation doesn't happen. Like you always get those after hours text
No.
messages or whatever. Like it just is part of the game. I feel like,
But I
unfortunately.
love that.
I
I
do
love
too.
it.
I
Even
love working. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I go see I visit my dad a couple of times, in Greece, and I'm always working. Even with the time change, I love it, the thrill.
Me too. I love it as well, especially in the logistics game. And every day's a different
Mhm.
story, and you never know what you're going to get into, which is always fun.
Definitely.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Learned a lot. Your guys' platform is really cool. I can't wait to see it. And I think you guys showed me a little bit of it before, but how can others reach you and see the whole thing and get to know you guys, be part of your little family over there? I think that's cool.
Well, you can add us on LinkedIn. You can email us. We do have an email that comes to the both of us. It's TQ for Transport Queens
Love it.
TQ@ritewaytransport.com, or you can give us a call. What's our load number? We just got a new number
Yeah.
Let's see.
for all of our marketing, and it's great.
It is.
I love the Transport Queens thing. I love that. That's so fun.
We didn't even think of that when they made our subdivision. They're like, what do you guys want to be called? And we're like, I don't know. And then we logged in and it was called Transport Queens, and it stuck.
Oh, I love that.
It's 954-761 load.
Perfect. That's a great number.
Right?
Makes sense perfectly. Love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on. You guys, I really appreciate it. We'll make sure to
Thanks
link
so
you guys out
much.
as
Thanks
well.
for having us.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Bye, guys.
Let's do this again.
Have
For
a great
sure.
day.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.